Guatemala is one of Latin America's loveliest countries, a colorful land rich in history where half the population is of Maya origin. That enlightened and mysterious pre-Columbian civilization disappeared during the first millennium AD. But even to this day, the secrets of the Mayas continue to intrigue the whole world. The Laguna del Tigre is a last frontier, the realm of monkeys, crocodiles, and snakes. With its rich diversity of climate and landscapes, Guatemala is also known as the land of eternal spring. Beyond the volcanoes in the heart of the tropical forests, or on one of the world's most stunning lakes, Guatemala everywhere offers the promise of encounters and a journey that opens the doors to a fascinating world.
Chalín, Chalín.
The first time I came to Guatemala, I was working for an agency, a photo agency in New York. It really touched me. It moved me. So 1 month later, I took time and I came back by myself. This changed me deeply, my perspective on everything. What am I doing? Just rush, push, shoot, pay, go, up, down. I'm missing everything in life. I said, I'm moving to Guatemala. And everyone said, you're crazy. And I thought, yeah, probably. But I like being crazy.
Lake Atitlan is one of Joan Trimper Garucho's favorite spots. She's an American photographer who moved to Guatemala 12 years ago, and everyone calls her Gigi. Her camera is her traveling companion and her catalyst for meeting people. It's her way of exploring the universe of the Maya.
As a photographer, what I get here from the people is authentic. Where everyone, I think, that sees a picture recognize a part of themselves in this. It's real. It's something that people are missing in the Western world. So if I can capture this little piece and remind people who they are, and that we're all one people, we're all the same. And it's not a watch or the Chinese shoes or the clothes or the expensive hair, and it's living, and they give me life. And I like to share that with whoever gets to see it. Hopefully some people get to see it.
What's that?
It's a carpa.
Carpa? For frying?
Yes.
Breaded?
Yes.
With garlic or plain?
As you like.
I'll go buy some firewood and we'll grill them.
I don't shoot people that I don't know, but at the same time, it gives me a tremendous opportunity to meet people. There should always be some sort of exchange. So, you know, they're giving to me open-heartedly, and when the pictures sell, not all of them sell. Sometimes they do. Sometimes it takes 5 years. But no matter how long or where, I always go back to the people there should always be an exchange in life, reciprocity, giving and taking.
Gigi still has a lot of exploring to do in her adopted country. From Lake Atitlan, the Maya's sacred lake, to the range of volcanoes, from the tropical forest to the Caribbean and Pacific coasts, Guatemala is a land of 1,000 facets and a gateway to mystery. Today, Gigi is on Ernesto's land in the heart of the Altiplano, the highlands. She hasn't come to take photos. Here, at more than 1,000 meters altitude, is where they grow what the Maya call the food of the gods. This is what Gigi has come for. The cocoa pods are ripe.
Se usa una tijera, ¿verdad?
Sí. Pero como no tenemos tijera.
¿Lo abrimos?
Shall we open it?
Sí.
Go ahead.
Pero
Aquí mismo.
Here?
Uy, ya estuvo.
está...
Careful. The pod is very thick.
Uy.
Look, how beautiful.
Eso es.
Qué belleza. Va.
This is what the squirrels eat.
I'm a squirrel. There's nothing tastier in the world. That's why they call this the food of the gods.
The food of the gods. La comida de los dioses. No quiero otro cacao.
This is the only cocoa I want. No other. It's heavenly. When you taste it, you have the true flavor of real chocolate. This chocolate tastes like fruit, something tropical. All I do is grind it. It's wonderful because you're eating all this nature, a taste of the earth.
Parte de la tierra.
Ernesto's family has been running this finca for 5 generations. The 350-hectare farm produces cocoa, coffee, milk, bananas, and firewood. They've been using the same farm machines here for decades.
This coffee is going to India.
To India? It's an awful lot.
And here's your cocoa.
The latest harvest.
Gigi is not only a photographer. Recently, she started making chocolate from Ernesto's cocoa beans.
Wow. Está fenomenal.
Gigi has put down roots in Antigua, the former capital of Guatemala. Born in New York of an American father and a Spanish mother, she was raised in Mexico, then Brazil. Her multicultural childhood is a good basis for her life in several worlds. This photographer has already lived many lives, and there are more to come. Gigi was 20 when she moved back to the United States. She studied photography and settled in Los Angeles, where she became a dancer. 10 years in show business, rubbing shoulders with American pop stars, a bohemian life of fiestas and follies, life in the fast lane, with all its risks. Then one fine day, she turned the page on LA, went back to New York and photography, until her momentous encounter with Guatemala.
New harvest for the next batch. This is my house. This is my chocolate shop. This is my physical food. This is my spiritual food. And this is my rest and where I work, where I create. So it's small, but it all works together. One piece.
Gigi makes premium quality chocolate that she sells in the U.S. It's a craft industry, but it rounds off her income from photography. She makes her chocolate in the purest Maya tradition.
When I make my chocolate, from the beginning to the end, I ask for permission. First, I ask for balance from the 4 cardinal points, from the 4 directions, and I make it according to the Mayan calendar day. Chocolate is magic. It's always been magic, and it's always been special.
When she's not up to her elbows in chocolate, Gigi spends her time on Maya culture, one of America's richest and most enlightened. But this photographer doesn't merely observe history and the ruins of long-forgotten pre-Columbian cities. She works on material that is much more alive. Gigi has been initiated as a priestess. She received instruction from Maya spiritual guides who passed on to her the secrets of their rituals. Today, Gigi is preparing several ceremonies with her friend Felipe, a reputed spiritual guide.
Que no los voy a nombrar todos. A los cachiqueros.
Like shamans, the Maya priests are called upon to purify the sick and to officiate at life's important rites of passage.
Fire is, quite simply, our connection with our ancestors. We don't consider those who've passed away as dead. We say that they're in another dimension, a parallel world. Our ancestors often send us messages and advice. In prehistoric times, all the humans would gather around the fire. They'd share their moments of joy and sadness, their projects, and everything that could be done collectively. This fire symbolizes and reflects the ancestral part that is within all of us, all civilizations. We Maya always keep the fire burning no matter what, because it's a vital part of our daily life.
Gigi and Felipe are on their way to a sacred spot above Lake Atitlan. This cave in the mountainside has been the site of Maya ceremonies for centuries. In Guatemala, the Maya, the indigenous people, make up over half the population. 5% of them practice these rituals.
When I came here, I was decided that I was going to document the Maya, and I was rejected for years. No cameras, no cameras, no cameras, and it took quite a long time. And I realized that what I was experiencing and learning was more important than the photographs, and so I dedicated myself to learning. And then one day again, someone said, "Did you bring your camera? Can you take pictures?" And I thought, yeah. When I'm doing a ceremony, my focus is on the ceremony. In the beginning, it was very difficult to juggle the picture or the ceremony, but then it became a very fluid process where there would be a moment where it would yell, or it would scream, "Take a picture." And so I just quickly take a picture and then go back to the ceremony. And I think the ceremony is more important than the photographs.
Gigi is one of the rare Westerners allowed to photograph these secret religious ceremonies. Since the fall of their civilization around 850 AD, the Maya have been victims of persecution. The most recent wave took place in the 1980s in the thick of a civil war. The country was ravaged by 30 years of guerrilla warfare until the peace agreements of 1996. The war in Guatemala resulted in over 200,000 deaths and thousands missing. During those terrible years, ceremonies like these were prohibited, and the priests risked their lives.
Before the peace accord, this type of practice was quite stigmatized. People would perform them at night here in this spot. They wouldn't make the huge fires that they do now. They would use only candles for their prayers. But ultimately, the practice of the Maya ceremonies has endured.
The mysteries of the Maya civilization continue to fascinate the whole world. How did they manage to build city-states in the middle of the jungle and organize life for thousands of people? How could these societies, so enlightened with their knowledge of art, mathematics, and astronomy, have collapsed? There is to this day continued speculation as to the causes of the downfall of the Maya cities. Invasions, a degradation of the environment, internecine warfare, famine. Gigi exhibits her photos in New York and in Guatemala's museums. Thousands of black and white prints that bear witness to the richness of an eternal culture.
Sometimes I'll wait 1 year, and it could be even more. I just found one last week. I was going back over old pictures, and I said, wow, how come I didn't see this? But now my perspective has changed, and I have no attachment anymore to the pictures. So I look at it, and it becomes something new again. My best picture of all time is always the last picture I took.
Today, Gigi is shooting a private family ceremony taking place up in the highlands. In the flickering fire and candlelight, everyone is paying homage to Mashimon, a rather strange personage. Mashimon is a man with white skin and many faces. His mustache is a reference to the Spanish conquistador, the oppressor. At the same time, he is a Maya divinity, half god, half saint. He is also called Saint Simon. Mashimon embodies might and authority, good and evil. He watches over everyone. They talk to him, they touch him, they invite him to dance. The venerated Mashimon is also a bon vivant who enjoys flowers, alcohol, money, and cigarettes they have to light for him. For 12 years now, Gigi has been photographing the soul of the Maya.
I don't know how the people they see me. I mean, the people that I'm with and that I take pictures with, we're friends. You know, I make a lot of friends. I travel around the country a lot. We share a lot of different things. They respect me and I respect them, and that's huge. It's wonderful. It's really a big deal. You know, the amount of respect that's exchanged. I don't know how they see me.
By involving herself in the men and women of Guatemala, Gigi is, in her own way, highlighting the spiritual riches of a very mysterious world, as if to keep it from slipping into oblivion. In the center of Guatemala, the country's natural treasures have changed the destiny of another woman as well. Here, at more than 1,500 meters altitude, the tropical jungle is shrouded in mist and mystery. The Biotopo is a region of cloud forest that looks like the dawning of the world. Edna Alvarez is an amateur ornithologist. She runs the Ranchito del Quetzal, a natural reserve, a sanctuary for wildlife. She manages 30 hectares of forest, an ecological treasure, an island of nature in an environment threatened by deforestation. Over 120 bird species have been identified in her reserve, including the most famous bird, a legend of Guatemala, the Quetzal, one of the world's loveliest birds. In the Mayan language, Quetzal means bird. Furtive and shy, the Quetzal lives in the canopy of the cloud forests.
Every time I spot a Quetzal, I'm just so moved I want to cry. I feel like the luckiest person on Earth. I think my job is one of a kind. I don't think there are many on this planet who drink their morning coffee gazing out on a Quetzal. It's unique, incredible.
Guatemala's Quetzals are in danger of extinction. The spread of farmland is threatening the primary forests and the habitat of all birds. Edna is a professional architect. This young woman grew up in Guatemala City, the capital, and lived for a time in Europe with her husband. But one day, her destiny caught up with her. The sudden death of her father turned her life upside down. That day, she decided to take over the reserve. It was her father, a trailblazer in wildlife protection, who had founded this sanctuary 12 years before.
I feel a very strong connection with my father here. Since he died, I feel his presence every time I think about Quetzals. I feel that only in this spot. When I'm out walking, I think he could have been here with me, and that his spirit is with me. From where he is now, in another dimension, I feel that, in a way, he's still by my side.
The Quetzals come down from the neighboring peaks in search of food before the rainy season. Baldo, one of Edna's reserve guides, is trying to locate the fruit trees where the Quetzals feed. It's the beginning of the mating season. Baldo knows the language of the couples courting in the forest.
When the male calls the female, he goes. Then the female responds. There are 7 different sounds. Sometimes he'll do this. Then he goes. That's what the male does when the female calls to him, and the female answers.
The Quetzal is part of the country's history. This mythical bird of Guatemala is the emblem of the nation. It is present in everyone's mind, yet most Guatemalans have never, in fact, seen this legendary animal. In all the marketplaces of Guatemala, the Quetzal is passed from hand to hand, for it's the name of the national currency. The country's lovely bird is printed on all the banknotes and is ever present in the daily life of the Guatemalans. Edna collects everything she can find about the Quetzal in the local culture. The bird of the cloud forest stirs the imagination of the Maya. Its long feathers were once used to decorate the king's headdress, and they're still embroidered into the traditional garments.
I like this one. And this one. This one has quetzals? A little quetzal. In our country, there's a legend about a battle between a Spaniard and a Quiche prince. The prince was assassinated by the conquistador. When the prince dropped to the ground, a bird with long feathers lit on his chest and covered itself with the Indian's blood, then took it off and flew very high in the sky, taking all our freedom with him to a safer place. That bird represents liberty and our struggle to defend our lands.
The future of the country's legendary bird lies in the hands of Edna. She's cultivating a miniature forest of guarumo trees, whose fruit is the Quetzal's favorite food. Edna's getting ready for a special day. She's heading for Alta Verapaz, to the property of an NGO, the Conservation Cloud Forest.
In both reserves, we grow the fruit that the Quetzals usually eat. It's important for us to have a good variety of trees for reforestation. The advantage of these plants is that they produce fruit for human consumption as well. We have several objectives: to feed the Quetzals and other birds, to replant these trees in a sustainable way, and to produce fruit for us as well.
The children of the Alta Verapaz communities are following an educational program set up by the Conservation Cloud Forest.
These are guarumo seeds. You see?
Each seed is a guarumo seed.
After 45 days, this is what we get. It'll grow and become a huge tree to the delight of the Quetzals.
By planting trees, these children are ensuring the future of their forest and the survival of its inhabitants. Edna is taking a little group out bird watching. They're hoping to spot a Quetzal or two. Humans have always tried to capture this bird. But no Quetzal has ever survived in captivity because it lets itself die of hunger and thirst. That's why it's the symbol of freedom.
Sí, tiene el ojo.
That one has black eyes, kids.
Es este. ¿Dónde está?
It's this one here.
Ay, sí.
Oh, yeah, it's a big one.
There's a smaller one.
Es bien grandote.
He flew off.
Every year after nesting, the Quetzal sacrifices its beauty by shedding its feathers in order to protect its young from predators.
Look over there, on that little branch.
La rama chiquitita. ¿Ya la vieron? Ahí está.
There he is, you see?
Se va.
I had a profession that I still like, but I never felt that I could give the best of myself when I'd come here. This spot has made me a better person. This personal enrichment has allowed me to contribute something to the world and to evolve as a human being. Here, I'm truly fulfilling myself, thanks to the forest.
Protecting the Quetzal has given meaning to Edna's life. A day's drive through the primary forest, heading for the Mexican border, brings us to the Laguna del Tigre. It's the end of the earth, the refuge of much more fearsome creatures. The Laguna del Tigre is a distillation of planet Earth, where nature is lush and thriving. Roland Griffin is an English biologist and herpetologist, a snake specialist. He has a particular fondness for crocodiles.
It's a sense of peace that I get when I'm in a place like this. The things that really matter come to the front, and just to be surrounded by nature rather than being surrounded by buildings, by human constructs, is just, for me, it's the best thing on earth.
Rivers and forest. The Laguna del Tigre is Central America's largest wetland. It's also Guatemala's largest national park, over 300,000 hectares of jungle and marsh, an animal realm with parts that have yet to be explored. Roland lives in this exceptional wilderness 6 months a year. His base camp is here on the banks of the San Pedro River.
Here we are coming into my other home when I'm here in Guatemala. This is the Estación Biológica Las Guacamayas, and it's where I base a lot of my work and my research from. And I just love it. It's one of the most tranquil places that I've ever been fortunate enough to visit. It's just so peaceful and wonderful. Some people might say there's something wrong with me for dedicating my life to two groups of animals that for most people are things that they would try to stay clear of. For me, with snakes especially, that's been a fascination that I've had since 8 years old. I can remember the day that I got turned on to snakes. I was 8 years, old at school, and someone came in with some exotic animals, fruit bats, and I can't remember what else, except for a 16-foot Burmese python. And for me, that was it. And it's always been there, something that is very deep inside me. And for me, there's nothing more exhilarating and satisfying than working with them.
Before plunging into the jungle to track down snakes, Roland has an appointment to keep in Paso Caballos. Like something out of the Old West, this is the last village before entering the Laguna del Tigre. Roland is forever in search of the most beautiful reptile, sometimes the most dangerous as well. But he always has to be accompanied when he goes out snake hunting. It's a question of life and death.
Hola, Carlos.
Hi, Carlos.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
How's it going?
Good, Roland. Welcome.
Thanks.
Carlos lives on the outskirts of Paso Caballos. He works at the biology station and knows the jungle like the back of his hand. For Roland, Carlos is the indispensable partner in his expeditions.
Between 8 and 10 p.m. is the best time to see snakes. You can see them in the day too, but it's not at all certain. Nighttime is when you see them.
There hasn't been a drop of rain in 2 weeks. It's 40 degrees. Even the forest looks like it's suffering. Nature is holding its breath.
Nobody at home today.
The snakes are hiding away, keeping cool underground, which doesn't make finding them any easier.
The ground here is really smooth in a long line all the way down into these caves. Is likely to be a track of a snake. That's what it looks like to me. It's quite possible it's something like a boa constrictor, which we know are found in this area, but we're also close to a large cave just down the way here, and boas often eat bats, things like that, so it's possible that it's here for that reason, to feed.
So far, they haven't turned anything up. Roland and Carlos push on into the forest. They're now a 3-hour hike from the biology station and heading for this high point, a mound, the vestiges of one of the Waka temples, a Maya city totally overgrown by the jungle.
Nature is fragile, but it is strong. There is a power there that we have no control over. And this was a large city. There were many people living here during its heyday, and just to imagine these structures clean, painted red as all Mayan structures were, and for me to see that nature can come back is wonderful. This is Smith's black striped snake. The scientific name is Coniophanes schmidti. I've recorded over 30 species of snake in Laguna del Tigre, and there are still more to find, I'm sure.
We see the symbol of the snake on
medical facilities, on ambulances all over the world. It's a symbol of health and vitality as well as death. It's something that we have maybe forgotten about a little bit more, even down to their physical shape. So the physical shape is quite phallic, it's very masculine, but the movement of a snake is incredibly feminine. It's smooth and just really gentle movements. So they're an animal of paradox, I guess.
The silence is broken only by the mournful cries of the howler monkeys. Waka is also the realm of the incredible treetop acrobat, the spider monkey. This city was discovered in 1970, but the archaeological excavation did not begin until years later, in 2003. Waka has since sunk back into oblivion. Roland just spotted a fer-de-lance viper. Its bite means certain death. This one's a juvenile, only about 20 centimeters long, but its venom is just as potent as an adult's.
They can get really big. The adults can reach 2.5 meters. Those are quite difficult snakes to deal with. The venom from this species is highly toxic. It can cause a lot of tissue damage and necrosis, lots of hemorrhaging, lots of bleeding. That often leads to amputation of a limb or something like that. But when left alone, they're not dangerous at all. I'm quite safe here with this animal right now, and as long as I respect this animal and its space, its boundaries, and behave in an appropriate manner, then I will be safe. Yeah.
Roland's dreams are inhabited by snakes, but by other reptiles as well. By nightfall, the biologist is back on the San Pedro River. This is the ideal time to meet the jungle's great predators.
It's really amazing to be this close to a big adult male Morlett's crocodile. It's very difficult to approach the population here. And I think the reason for that is that especially the big adults, the older members of the population here, remember being hunted. And so they still remember people in boats coming and hunting them. And they're still very wary of that.
Morley's crocodiles, one of the planet's 23 crocodile species, are very rare animals. They live only in certain parts of Guatemala, Belize, and Mexico. Roland's work allows us to better know them and thus protect them.
I have the camera on a stick so that when we get close enough to the crocodiles, we can get video footage of the head and neck region. And the shape of the scales and the pattern on the scales is unique to each individual. And by getting that footage, we can then tell where the individuals are moving on the river, how big their territories are, keep track of them over years and see how that moves around, how that changes. Quite often populations can be quite dynamic. So by collecting this data year after year, we can really get an idea of what's happening with the ecology of this species. Coco. Allá, sí.
Morley's crocodiles are the monsters of the San Pedro River. They can grow up to 3.5 meters long.
And so you see, even when we do find them, it's not always easy getting close enough to get the data that we need.
Here, far from his native England, Roland is living out his passion. He publishes articles on his research and organizes scientific expeditions. Every year, dozens of volunteers come to help him carry out a census of the crocodiles on the San Pedro River. The data collected will help protect this species that very nearly disappeared.
They are a big predator, and anywhere where you have big predators and humans living together, there's always some kind of conflict between the two. Thankfully here there's not too much of a conflict, and it's usually accidental happenings. They have some kind of respect for the space that they're living in with the crocodiles, and for the most part there's harmony.
When the children go down to the river, they have to be careful not to bother the crocodiles, otherwise they'll attack. You have to leave them alone because they're in their natural habitat. We are not. We're sharing the same river.
Crocodiles have been living here at Paso Caballos since the dawn of time, and the fishermen have learned how to live with this lord of the river. Roland carries out his census day and night. At night, the crocodiles are more active and easier to spot. In the light of the headlamps, their eyes show up as two red dots on the surface of the water. This is what Roland and his crew are after. Even though the crocodiles are the largest predators of the jungle, they are still very timid creatures.
I've never seen one be so tolerant. I have a huge amount of respect for all life. There's something very special about crocodiles. They're super intelligent, they're apex predators, and for me it's an honor to share my time and this world with them. It's an absolute honor. Oh, I'm very excited, yes. Yeah, this is quite an experience. And I still can't believe that she's still there on the bottom, just biding her time very peacefully, very calmly. It's magnificent. What a night. Adiós. Hasta luego. Muy bueno.
Roland, the English biologist, has decided to move to Guatemala for good. He's planning to open a center for sea turtles on the Pacific coast soon. But above all, he wants to continue to persuade people to look kindly on these two unappreciated animal species, snakes and crocodiles.
They're animals that have been around since the time of the dinosaurs, and they're still here. And I think for
for anyone who is into reptiles or dinosaurs and prehistory, being able to spend time with animals from that distant past, that's really special. It's really incredible. And there's only a few species left. There's 23 species out of over 200 known species of crocodilians, and many of them are endangered and are in need of conservation work. And that, for me, is just wonderful to be a part of that and to contribute to that.